Imagine this. The first disaster in human history doesn't arrive as a monster or a war. It arrives as a gift. Beautiful, wrapped in ceremony, delivered with a smile. And once it's opened, the world is never the same. This is the myth of Pandora. It's the story people quote when they talk about curiosity. But in the oldest Greek sources, it's not really about that. It's a warning about power, about how consequences can be packaged as blessings, and how a gift can be designed to change the rules of human life forever. To tell it properly, we have to start before Pandora even exists, with fire. In Hesiod's tradition, Prometheus, the clever Titan, clashes with Zeus over what humans are allowed to have. Prometheus tricks Zeus at a sacrifice. He hides the best meat, making the worthless parts look glittering and attractive. Zeus chooses the glitter, and then he makes sure humans pay for that deception. Prometheus responds by stealing fire. Now, fire isn't just warmth, it's technology. It's cooking, metalwork, pottery. It is the very beginning of civilization. And Zeus? Zeus refuses to let that theft go unanswered. This wasn't just an argument, it was a political statement. The king of the gods was deciding exactly what boundaries mortals were allowed to cross. So Zeus designs a counter-gift. Not a thunderbolt, not a plague, not an army. A woman. In the Theogony, Zeus orders Hephaestus to shape a figure from earth, something dazzling, something dangerous. Athena dresses her, Aphrodite gives her charm and desire. The Graces adorn her with beauty, and Hermes, the god of deception, gives her a mind that can persuade, conceal, and mislead. Hesiod's language is ruthless here. He calls this creation a beautiful evil, something people will want, something that will be welcomed into the home, even though it carries ruin in its hands. The punishment was designed to be accepted voluntarily, not forced, not resisted. Celebrated. Her name is Pandora, all gifted. That title alone should make you uneasy. When every power in the universe contributes to one being, that being isn't just a person. She's a policy. She's a plan. And Pandora is sent to Epimetheus. Now, Epimetheus is Prometheus's brother, and his name is practically a warning label. Afterthought. He understands consequences only when they arrive. Prometheus had warned him, do not accept gifts from Zeus. But Epimetheus accepts her anyway, because she is breathtaking, because the gift looks like a blessing, because people are very good at wanting what they're told to refuse. Now we reach the object that history misnames. In Hesiod, it isn't a box, it's a jar, a pithos, a large storage jar used for grain, wine, or oil. Centuries later, a translation error turned the jar into a box, and the phrase stuck. But the original detail matters. A jar is a household object. It belongs in the center of life. It's not a treasure chest hidden in a corner. It's the kind of thing you live with every day. Pandora arrives with that jar, and at some point, she opens it. The lid lifts, and the world breaks. Out rush the miseries of human life: disease, exhaustion, pain, grief, hardship. They spread everywhere, across land and sea, day and night. They don't strike once and disappear. They multiply, they circulate. And then, too late, Pandora slams the lid shut. But one thing remains inside: hope. Elpis. That detail is the myth's sharpest knife, because it forces a question: is hope a gift or a final cruelty? The first reading is the one we want. Pandora's last act saves us. The evils escape, but hope remains as a resource. Even in a world of suffering, we endure because hope is still possible. But the second reading? It's darker. Hope is withheld. It stays trapped inside. Humans get all the pain, and the one thing that could rescue them is locked away. In this version, hope is not comfort. It is control. It's a promise kept just out of reach. So what is Zeus really doing? He's rewriting the human condition. Before Pandora, life was ease. After Pandora, life is labor. Work becomes necessity. Suffering becomes normal. The first curse isn't a single catastrophe, it's a system. And that's why Pandora still feels modern. Because our suffering rarely arrives as a theatrical event. It arrives as accumulation, stress, illness, fatigue, loss. Pandora's jar is the image of a world where trouble can always find you, because trouble is now part of the structure. The real horror is not that the jar was opened. The horror is that it was always meant to be opened. We endure because we hope. But hope can also keep us trapped. It can keep us waiting for a justice that never comes. It can keep us alive long enough for the next hardship to arrive. That is Pandora's jar. It doesn't give you a clean moral. It gives you a paradox. It says, suffering exists. It becomes normal. And still, something remains. Whether that something is a gift or a trap is left to you.